Steven, aren't you ecstatic that a Warriors loss didn't ruin our NFL schedule release show?
I hope the Warriors win ruins our schedule release show.
Well, we're going to talk about them winning, of course, but
Is
we're
this
also going to.
is this a schedule release show? That sounds like the most boring podcast to ever happen. Sorry to ruin it for everybody. Schedule
Yeah,
release
turn us
show.
off right now. Ernie's, get out of here.
The schedule release show. Good Lord, that's gonna bring viewers.
It actually is.
No.
You keep shit talking this whole thing, Steven, but I guarantee you people are more interested in the NFL schedule than NBA playoffs, which is kind of sad, even for me.
That is 100% sad. They all are conforming.
But don't you think that's accurate?
Not necessarily. I think they think they enjoy the schedule release, and then they should take a step back and realize, oh, this evaluating that we're doing, we should be doing other things with our Thursday night, like watching Just Your Opinion Man. But I'll say this. It's
Just Your Opinion Man, Steven Langford.
It's kind of the same with the draft. I don't necessarily hate it. Like, I get why they're doing it. I get why there's a specific time. Hey, the schedule's being released today. I get why they're leaking the big games. But the draft, I'm good with the draft. It's great that these guys are getting to live their dream, but I hate the build up to it.
Yes.
And I hate the aftermath of it.
That's fair.
Both.
Okay, well, what do you not like about the aftermath with it?
Well, because we do all these like predictions, travel talk, I think the Niners are they're going to be the second most traveled team in the NFL, like second behind the Seahawks or something like that. And then we try to make all these predictions and all these sorts of things. I get people wanting to make their travel plans and all this sort of stuff. They're trying to, make these trips and figure out where they're going to go on the road. I get that. But I think, I think that people tend to look at this and look at the season. But the fact is, we don't know what these teams are going to look like going into the year. There's a little bit of intrigue, but I can wait until August till I care about that sort of thing. I don't need it in May.
Steven, I'm with you. Listen, I love the draft. I do love a good NFL schedule release, but I don't need to deep dive into everything and predict what's going to happen. Right. I don't need to do draft grades. I don't need to do like the win-loss thing.
Are we gonna do schedule grades for each team?
No. We're not doing schedule grades. Like for years, this always frustrated me. My dad, when he was doing the show at Bonte, I guarantee he'll do it tomorrow, is he'll go through let's go through the Niners schedule. Week 1, win. Week 2, win. Week 3, that's a win. It's like we don't need to do that stuff. I get it. It's months in advance. You and I will do an NFL schedule release days before the season actually starts with the Lions and Chiefs, which is very weird to me. But no, we don't need to go through the whole minutia of it. It's just a good case NFL schedule. Let's see what it's like. But I'm with you, Steven. I'm with you. I already said in the last podcast, I don't need to do a 4-hour NFL schedule release show. That's ridiculous to me. I could see Rich Eisen already just losing his mind. It's too much. I'm with you.
And I did forget that it is a time for the team's social media departments to shine.
Yeah, I saw some of that stuff. Like the Chargers did like a weird anime thing, I want to say, and the Titans interviewed people on the street.
The Titans one was hilarious. Did you watch that?
I haven't watched any of them.
The Titans one's really good. I highly recommend that. They take a bunch of clearly non-football fans, and they have them guess the logos, and it's amazing. So I highly recommend it. And I would pull it up. The pull-up game is still strong, regardless of whether I have a microphone or not. But you can't really. It's not going to be good for the podcast audience. You really have to be watching if you want to get a dose of it. And I just say, you know what? Go watch it yourself. Just go to the Titans account.
I will check it out, but even that's a lot of hoopla to me to begin with. But at the end of the day, I just want to see the schedule. I don't need to see sketches and skits that go along with it. Like it's just a little too much sometimes. But I get the fun. At the end of the day, it's all for fun. So that's what we're going to do today.
Well, Derek, what are we going to do? Warriors or schedule release first? Because I am curious what your what your opinion is
Oh,
on the schedule release.
believe me, listen, I do love some NFL schedule talk, but we need to talk about the Warriors first.
Okay, gotcha.
I definitely know what's more important.
Mhm.
And even for me, the Warriors is more important. They survive, Steven. They
Mhm.
survive. They stay alive. Staying alive. And they go back to what was comfortable in Game 4, even though they did lose. It was working, and it was just the way they mismanaged the fourth quarter. But GP2 gets the start. Doesn't need to hurl this time. Got it all out, and he admitted it last night. He said he reminded him of his Oregon State days. Go Beavs. Um, but Gary Payton II started, and it was kind of a replay of Game 4 a little bit, with the exception of the Warriors not, you know, Lonnie Walker Jr. did not go off in the fourth quarter, thank God. But the pick and roll with Steph Curry and GP2 was working very well. GP2 may be the best Warrior to play in the perimeter, play under the rim, because he just goes up and puts it in. I'm not saying he's the best dunker by any means, because I think Andrew Wiggins is, but he's the one that goes up with the most aggression out of anybody, in my opinion. So that's why I think Steve Kerr started him. And I thought it was a great game. It's the game that I've been looking for Andrew Wiggins. I thought it was his best performance in the postseason. I think he was 10 of 18. Did not shoot many threes. Just played physical and aggressive, and that's what we need more of from Andrew Wiggins. But we'll see if we get that tomorrow, as we'll talk about his injury. I thought Draymond Green played with some intensity that was clearly lacking in this series. We've all been making fun of Draymond Green of, he's not going to go up against LeBron because that's the guy that he wants to impress to go to the Lakers this offseason. He's
Right.
already, tight with Rich Paul and everything, so he's not.
I mean, you're the one that tweeted it. You're the one that tweeted it.
Damn right I did. And shout out to my guy John Dickinson subtweeting it. No, I thought I was right. I was like, all right, Draymond, talk your shit before you join these Lakers next season. And I still stand by that. I think Draymond Green will leave this offseason. But for right now, go ahead and bang a little bit with these guys. Go ahead and get up and get after LeBron James and talk your shit to Anthony Davis and whoever, Jared Vanderbilt, whoever else you were talking to. I love the game that Draymond Green had. Made his first three. He looks more comfortable shooting than Klay Thompson right now, to be frank. But he had a 20-point game. I love the way Draymond Green played last night. Was playing great defensively in the fourth quarter too, with getting some steals and some blocks. Steph Curry, again, it's rare back-to-back games where he only shoots or only makes 3 threes. Did not have a great shooting performance, but had an overall great performance with the assists and less rebounds than he did in Game 4, but still had a great performance. I think he finished with 27 last night?
27, yeah. He's 6 for 25 from 3 in the past 2 games.
Yeah, and that's, he still making some clutch shots. Like the 3 that he made going into halftime was much needed. And even Klay Thompson, I think prior to that, the shot before was Klay Thompson. And Klay Thompson had, some good threes here or there last night, but still not looking like the Klay Thompson we need. We need a Game 6 Klay. We'll talk about that more. Jordan Poole, I thought had a solid game. He wasn't rushing anything. He wasn't crazy. I think that he just played smart. I thought the team played very smart last night. And, I think that the Lakers got caught up in Steve Kerr's comments with the flopping. Darvin Ham made it a deal, talking to Chris Haynes about it. LeBron James talked about it afterwards. I thought the referees looked out for both teams when it came to flopping, but that really had no bearing on the game last night. I think the Warriors just played a solid game, and they did what they needed to do to survive. But I will say this. They need to play inside. They needed to play inside to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been saying this whole series, they need to be equal parts pretty jump shooting team and physical nasty. They were physical nasty last night. But in order for them to win this series, Steph and Klay need to be the Splash Brothers if they're going to win this series.
Not just physical. Not just nasty. Physical nasty.
Physical nasty, baby.
Physical nasty. Lot to unpack from that because you just went through the freaking whole. You just went through
I know. I went on a rant there.
You went through headlines of takes from that. Jesus. I'm just gonna say this about the series real quick. This series has not been good. Can we just admit this? The series has not been a good one. As
Uh,
far as the games, it feels like it doesn't, except for the last, with exception to the last game, it does not feel like both teams have played at a high level. Like the Warriors, they were playing at a high level last night, but the Lakers, I don't think gave them their best shot. Like, or in it was kind of that way. Not for Game 4. Game 4 was a different story. I think, the Lakers played pretty well in that game. Anthony Davis kind of faltered toward the end in Game 4, but it's just been like these games haven't been close. Like I could turn off a majority here with 3 minutes to go because the other team's getting blown out. Like I like watching these things till the end. And Steph was talking about playing a full 48. It's like you didn't need to play a full 48. The game was over by the 45. But
yeah,
I don't think it's been a good series. That's just my opinion, man.
that's fair.
Yeah, I just don't think it's been like I just don't think it's been that entertaining.
Well, would you say that game 1 and game 4 were the closest games and the best games?
Yeah, but like even the first 3 quarters of that game, though, the Warriors were lifeless. It's like it wasn't fun to watch. If like I'm just saying, if I was an objective observer here and I didn't have some sort of bias involved with the Warriors, I'd look at this series and be like, nah, I'm gonna go watch the other ones and maybe watch some playoff hockey instead. Like the LeBron and Steph angle, I don't think it's been a good series. I'll just say that it's just been too lopsided each game. I need to see something competitive where each team is giving their best because
Well,
it just feels like last night the Lakers, all that they were doing was LeBron, Austin Reeves, all these guys were hitting difficult shots, but by the time the second half came around, they were gassed. The Warriors gassed them out, and that's where I think, to me, like this game was just a pure Steve Kerr outcoached Darvin Ham
yeah.
situation.
Yep.
They had the idea of playing up tempo, getting the Lakers caught in transition defense, and then scoring off that. It wasn't so much the half court sets because, like we were talking about, the pick and roll, right? The Lakers kind of blitzed that a little bit, and toward the end of Game 4, they kind of figured it out. And then Steve Kerr said, "You know what? Screw that. If the Lakers make a shot, we're going to go up tempo. We're just going to try and beat them and make them play in transition defense, even though it isn't by definition transition defense. You know what I mean? That's normally coming off like a rebound or something. But
Mhm.
I thought the Warriors just played an all around great game, man. Even with Clay, like whatever, the shooting is not there. It's clear. I love what Steve Kerr did, getting him going early, at least trying to, creating an open shot, first play of the game. I love that. Normally, Clay hits that mid range baseline jumper like 9 times out of 10. So when he missed that, I think it was kind of an indicator. Yikes, something's really off with Clay. Like
Yeah.
that kind of went to show you. But he still scored in the double digits. I thought, Steph was Steph. I'm not even like I didn't even notice the 3 point shooting until I didn't notice his lack thereof, rather, um, until the end of the game. Until I looked at the box score, I was like, damn, he was that bad from three again. Maybe that's just me not observing, but I was just like, I'm not even worried about Steph shooting threes. Like that's fine, whatever. If he's gonna miss those, like if he can do everything else, I'm good with that.
I think that
But let's
I want to say he only made one in the second half.
might have. But again, the second half was just the Lakers didn't even put up a fight, man. It seemed like LeBron
Well,
maybe could have, and then
that's
they didn't.
that's where I differ, Steven, because I was texting you last night and
Mm,
going into halftime, the Warriors were up, can't remember, but they were up by double digits, I think like 12 or
yeah,
something. And everybody at the halftime show, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Shaq, were all saying the Lakers may just pull the plug on here and try to rest up for game 6. And I was like, Jesus, are they really going to do the Mike Greenberg thing right now? And that didn't happen. Despite the fact that the Warriors were playing well, I never thought that they were pulling away from the game.
mm,
Like they did enough to win. I think they tied the Lakers with the amount of points in the third quarter. I want to say that's true with 23 with both teams. Yep. And the Lakers were staying in that game. I think they just pulled away probably with 2 minutes or 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But LeBron James and everybody was trying. They were trying to eliminate the Warriors last night. So I don't think the Warriors blew them out. I think defensively, I thought the Warriors played fine, but they did kind of leave the Lakers a little bit in the game. Um, yeah, like I hear you on how the games haven't been really entertaining as far as if you're just an objective fan, but still Steph Curry versus LeBron James. And I think we'll go back and listen to your comments after Game 6 and Game 7 because I think these games will be crazy. I think they're
I
going to
hope so.
be they're going to just be anxiety inducing for everybody involved: Lakers, Warriors, fans, players
Yeah,
themselves, coaches, everybody, the whole NBA
yeah.
watching world. But just as far as the game last night, um, yeah, like there were times where this 3 point shooting kind of concerned me a little bit. Um, Again, like they did what they needed to do. Like they found something, and I don't know if it's going to be there in tomorrow's game, but they definitely have found something with Anthony Davis playing, back as a safety towards the rim, and they're just picking and rolling on him. So I don't know if that's going to work again. I still want them to be physical, but I do want to see Steph and Clay start making some shots. And I have no worries about Steph doing that, but I am worried about Clay Thompson a little bit. And we all rely on Clay for his past with Game 6 Clay. It happened the last time they were down 3-1. He had an amazing game against the Oklahoma City Thunder that kept their season alive and brought it back to Oracle. Same thing with when they were down 3-2 to the Rockets. The Warriors were down, I think, by 17 at halftime, whatever it was, where that's when Chris Paul got hurt for the Rockets, and that series went 7. It was it the first year with KD or second year with KD, and Clay Thompson had an amazing second half, and they won that game and they won that series. And then just a couple years ago, uh, Kevin Durant gets hurt against the Rockets again, and everybody thinks the Rockets going to win that series with KD going down. Everybody forgets what the Warriors were before KD. They go to Houston, and Steph and Clay shoot the lights out, and they eliminate the Rockets once again. So Clay has done this before. He has a resume of being clutch in game sixes. It's kind of a weird thing. I hope he finds his inner peace and his groove and his mantra whenever he needs tomorrow because we need him. Um,
Yeah.
and I'll divulge this to everybody too. Uh, texted Michael Thompson today, seeing if he had time for an interview for old Tolbert and Copes. And I said to him, I know you told me that you want to wait until the Warriors are up in this series, but at this point, they're only up in this series if they win this series. So, do you have time today to talk, or do you want to wait till the series is over? And Michael Thompson,
Hmm.
analyst for the Lakers, text me back and goes, "Let's wait till the Warriors win this series." And I
Hmm.
was kind of not shocked, but also like, that's a good dad right there. He
Yeah.
wants them. But also I think he knows too. Like they fucked up last night. They should have killed the Lakers when they had a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. They should have.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Lakers should have killed the Warriors when they had a chance.
No. Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's still a game on the road. I'm not going to treat this like a normal Game 6 Warriors team. Like they haven't looked the same on the road all year. So, yeah, I'm not going to just automatically think, yeah, they win last night. All the pressure's on the Lakers now. Like I don't think so. But who did I want to bring up? I haven't even talked about it, but Draymond Green. Can we invite Coach Izzo to every game? Is there any way? Do we want to start like a GoFundMe? Can we get him like front row seats to LA? Can we get him some tickets to crypto.com arena?
Yeah,
Because if it's
I'm with
Tom
you on
is
that.
if it's Tom Izzo, then like if that's the key there, if that's how you unlock it, if that's the secret, then we need Tom Izzo at the rest of these games. What else? What were we talking about? The flopping thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering this: is there ever going to be a time now that we, have phones and stuff where we can just stop asking questions where we know we'll get some sort of answer with no pushback and instead show them actual videos? Because like LeBron just being asked about flopping, of course he's going to say we don't flop. I haven't done that in my 20 years. Well, how about this? I have a video right here of Lonnie Walker flopping on the Draymond Green illegal screen that was called. How about this? This one where you just randomly fell over in the second quarter or towards the end of the first half in game 3. How about that one? Like, can we start using videos now instead of just asking these questions where we know we're going to get some answer like that? But I have a question for you from this. With Jermichael Green, putting the big old cap on his Instagram. You saw that, right?
I did.
You think that was a smart move? Or you think that should have just been kept in the holster, saved in the drafts, He doesn't need to do that because, like, it's a bench player calling out LeBron. Like, you really like again, we talked about this so much. You don't want to give the Warriors fuel. Like, you do any little thing that gives them a little added motivation. You do that for LeBron, you say you don't flop, gives them a little added motivation, I think.
It does kind of bring me back to memories of them being up 3-1 in the series against the Cavaliers, and Draymond got suspended, and they interviewed everybody that Sunday before the game. And I remember Klay Thompson calling out LeBron James saying, "Oh, he got his feelings hurt." And then, God, I just hated the sound of LeBron going, "What did Klay say?"
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take the high road, and whatever. I mean, like in the end, LeBron got the last laugh. They ended up winning that series. So, do I like that JaMychal Green did that? I hadn't really thought about it until you brought it up. To be perfectly honest, I saw it and I was like, okay. I mean, do we even know if JaMychal Green was teammates with LeBron James? He's been on so many teams.
No, no, he wasn't. I looked back at his career going back a decade. He's been in the league for a while, but he hasn't crossed paths with LeBron. He's mostly been in the Western Conference and not with the Lakers.
I mean, if I don't think the Lakers need any added motivation. I think that they need to win this game because they were up 3-1. You got to end this series at crypto, and you do not want the Warriors going back to Chase Center. You do not want to give them more life. So, no, to be perfectly honest, I don't really give a shit. Should JaMychal Green have tweeted that or put it on his Instagram? Probably not. But everybody wants to be clever on social media these days. So do you, JaMychal Green?
Cap.
Yeah.
That's
I, I,
cap, bro.
I don't even know what the cap means, really. Cap is like you're lying.
Yeah, it's just lying. That's it.
So, but what does that originate from?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, do we want to look up? This is time for Steven pulls it up.
All right, you look up the Urban Dictionary of cap.
Origin, Urban Dictionary. Let me see here. Urban Dictionary. Well, originally it was bust a cap. That's interesting. Oh, how
Well,
about that?
we all know what bust a cap means.
Yeah. The use of the phrase is meant to convey authenticity and truth. The phrase originated in reference to decorative gold teeth, which can be divided into two distinct varieties, permanent gold teeth or caps. Whereas caps can be pulled out with ease, perms, as their name suggests, are permanent. They cannot be taken out for a job interview or court date, and they are honest and elastic expression of the owner's realness. So it has to do with fake teeth with
Okay.
caps.
All right. Clever.
How about that?
No, that's actually cleverer than I thought.
Wow. Wow.
With all that being said, I don't care. It's just So let me ask you, Steven. Did anything last night make you think, besides the Warriors winning, they got this? Did anything happen last night where you thought the Warriors now have the edge in this series? Because to me, exactly. To me, there are many times where teams go up 3-1 and they win the home game to, have a stay of execution. And then the next game, in game 6, when they go back on the road, they lose. Now, the Warriors are proven and they have championship pedigree. So for those reasons, I still believe they can do this. But nothing last night made me think they got this. It's just their mentality maybe that makes me believe it. But nothing in their play last night was like, all right, they're going to win.
Yeah, well, the only thing, man, is kind of like the Warriors and not really knowing which team you're going to get on any given night. It's kind of the same with the Lakers. I don't really know what I'm going to get. Am I going to get strong AD where he's getting to the rim? I don't know. Are we going to get the LeBron that we get last night, or one where he's just kind of chucking up threes? Are we going to get, like I mean, Austin Reeves is kind of consistent, actually. I mean, he kind of is a do-it-all type of player. I thought he had a really good game yesterday. A reason I thought the first half wasn't a little more lopsided was because of what he did in the second quarter. Just offensive rebounds. He had a stretch where they went on like a 6-0 run, and he had like a hand in really every one of those points. He knocked down a three, got a huge offensive rebound, got it to Anthony Davis, had an outlet pass. He was doing all of it. So shout out
LeBron
to
knew it day
Austin
one, man.
Reeves. Oh man, I told him before the game. I said, "Hey, you got to have a huge stretch in the second quarter, right there between like the 4 minute mark." I knew he was going to do that. I knew it was going to happen.
Whatever.
But the flopping thing, back to the flopping, they do. You may not teach it, but you don't have to teach veterans flopping. That's what they do. Like NBA players know that, and they may not want to call it flopping. I bet you they call it something else. There's always. See, you remember how yesterday I hit you with a little may change the series?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like a may change the series. It's not saying it's going to change the series. And I was speaking in relation to Anthony Davis and his potential concussion, which it looks like. I mean, I think he's going to play tomorrow night. I don't think they're going to
Yeah, we'll
allow
talk
him
about
into.
that.
I don't think we're going to allow him into concussion protocol. But anyway, um, I think Darvin Ham saying we don't teach flopping. Like, no, that's not what we do. But you do pull a little gamesmanship. Like, come on. Like, there's other ways to describe what they do other than flopping, because flopping kind of gives that connotation that they're doing the same thing as soccer players, where you just like you touch them on the shoulder and then they fall and grab their face.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm not really concerned with the flopping stuff. I understand that it helped them in the last, game 4, and then Steve Kerr made it apparent to talk about that in the post game, and he was using an old tactic that his mentors, Greg Popovich and Phil Jackson, did, where if things were going their way in a series, they call out the refs. The refs then give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm not really concerned with that. At the end of the day, the Warriors need to just win this game tomorrow and find a way to do it. And I think they found a little bit of magic. I think their game plan's working, but we got to see more from Steph. We got to see more from Clay, and I think we will. And I'm feeling good about tomorrow. Nothing I saw last night says anything about what will happen tomorrow, because every game is different. But I just think that the little bit of doubt that creeps in the Lakers' minds is maybe all the Warriors need. Now, last night also, a big factor that may happen in this series, but I don't think it will now. Anthony Davis did suffer a head injury of some sort. Kevon Looney whacked him in the head, and this is the second game in a row between these two teams where it looked like someone was concussed. So, and it looked like Draymond, it looked like a hard hit, and he was rubbing his head, and I guess they administered some kind of concussion protocol in the NBA, but I didn't see it. But again, I'm watching from home. There's no blue tent. So Draymond Green stayed in that game. Anthony Davis looked dazed and confused. It looked like the light was bothering him. He looked wobbly. He looked disoriented. He couldn't get to the locker room by himself, and he needed a wheelchair. I know that the NBA on TNT guys had a good laugh at that, but in reality, that's not something you really should laugh at. But I get it. It's funny in some aspects.
I totally get why the NBA on TNT totally cut out the context of the laugh, because I don't know if you saw. I as soon as it was posted to Twitter, I watched it like 50 times because it's just one of those contagious laughter moments. Like there's a whole Reddit page dedicated to contagious laughter. I browsed that shit for like 2 hours one day because I love contagious laughter. All right, but yeah, they posted it with no context. I had no idea what they were laughing about. All I see is just Shaq laughing, Charles Barkley trying to say something, and then Barkley starts laughing. Kenny Smith starts laughing, and then Barkley's like, "He's crumpling paper."
Yeah.
It's like, so I was cracking up, and then I saw, oh, they were laughing at Anthony Davis's situation. That doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good, but also they don't care. Like they're from the old school. They think everybody's soft now. They always make fun of Anthony Davis. They refer to him as street clothes. So that's how they're gonna roll. Was it in the best taste? Probably not. But they don't give a
No,
shit at this point.
no.
As far as Anthony Davis and his health for Game 6, it sounds like he's gonna play. And some, miraculous recovery by the end of the game. They interviewed Darvin Ham, and Darvin Ham like he's already looking better and he's gonna be fine. And everybody's like, "You serious?" And he was like, "Yep, I'm serious." And I don't know. This whole thing has gotten me like conflicted because I always want to see players play if they can. But this whole concussion thing the last 2 games, even with Draymond, it seems a little weird to me. And I'm a football guy. I love the NFL, but it seems like we pick and choose what we want to get mad at. So if they're telling us that Anthony Davis did not have a concussion, okay, I believe you. But we're really going to go through this shit last year with everybody being up in arms about Tua and suffering that concussion. Everybody's saying, you can't tell me he didn't have a concussion. You can't tell me that Anthony Davis didn't have a concussion last night either. He looked bad. He looked like his bell was rung.
I have a tough time going back and forth on it because I also think that he may have dodged. I do believe he could have dodged a concussion based on the hit because it wasn't that like the one with Draymond. I thought was much worse. Like the way that the back
Yeah.
of his head, the way that you're like, I mean, if you've seen any of those like graphics of how the brain moves during a concussion inside the skull, like that's what I picture with Draymond. He seemed to be fine with Anthony Davis. When I watched that, it felt like he just got the hit. Like, for example, in mixed martial arts, in UFC, it's not just guys trying to knock people out. It's trying to hit them in the place where it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to go for the temple. They do, and it knocks off their equilibrium. To me, that looked like that got Anthony Davis right in the temple, and then it kind of knocked him off a little bit. And I could see him improving after a while. I could see. I'm no doctor though, so I'm not going to act like I fully
You just play one
understand.
on the podcast.
I just play one on the podcast. Exactly. I am the Just Your Opinion Man doctor. Call me. What was Neil Patrick Harris's name in that one show?
Doogie Howser.
Yeah, call me Doogie. Doogie Langford.
Dude, I humped every piece of ass on that.
Shout out to Harold and Kumar. Yeah. And there you go. It wasn't the elbow. It was his forearm and wrist. I mean, it even looked like his hand. It didn't look like it had that much force to it, but it clearly got him in the right spot. I don't know if that's the type of thing that warrants a concussion. But I do fully expect him to play. And the fact that he was able to walk off under his own power, but we've also seen guys with concussions able to walk off under their own power before and they still have concussions. So I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm with you. Who's to say, really? I just think
Right.
that there's no outrage like there would be for an NFL game, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I do fully expect Anthony Davis to play tomorrow, and I want him to play because I want this to be a fair fight. I'm not looking for any cheap shots, or I shouldn't say cheap shots, but just cheap ways for the Warriors to win this series. I want the Warriors to kick their ass on their. I want the Warriors to burn the crypt down tomorrow. That'd be so beautiful, but. We'll see. But I expect Anthony Davis to play, and it's going to be tough. It is going to be a bitch of a game tomorrow. It is
All right. So
a
I
big
got
old
a question.
corgi bitch.
That's my question. So, to give anyone context, you may not have listened during the series. Derek does not like corgis, and in turn does not like dogs. But that's a discussion for another day.
Steven, do you know how many dogs I grew up with?
No. How many?
A lot. I've loved dogs. I've always been around dogs. Dogs are my favorite animal. But corgis are not among them.
All right, so you hate dogs. So the corgi.
This bit is getting old.
Derek does not like the corgi. Are you going to change your mind if they ended up winning? Are you going to just do a 180 on the corgi?
I will. Well, you owe a bet too on this podcast from the first round of the NBA playoffs. You still got to drink your coffee, Will Levis style.
Okay.
If the Warriors come back and win this series, I will kiss a corgi on this podcast. I don't know how, but you find me a corgi and I will give that dog a smooch.
All right, I'll contact the royal family in England because the Queen, R.I.P. Loved her corgis. I don't know if you know that, but the corgi was like the dog of the royal family.
That's why I'm hitting a nerve here.
Well, partially, but corgis are also the cutest dogs on the planet, and you're wrong, and I hate you, and you hate dogs.
Now I understand. It's for Queen and country.
Respect the monarchy. Okay, so you will. Something else
I'm not going to adopt a corgi though. I don't have the ability to do that. Sorry, Ernie too.
So this Andrew Wiggins thing, this was kind of a little bit of a shock.
Yeah. So rib cartilage fracture. He is questionable for tomorrow.
That don't sound good.
It doesn't sound good.
Derek, is it bad that I'm blaming you? You say Andrew Wiggins get more aggressive, and then what do you know? He's more aggressive. He comes out with 25 points. We're all happy, but he has rib cartilage fracture. So I
Well,
blame you.
that's part of the game, baby.
Might be your fault.
No, it's anybody. It's Andrew Wiggins' fault. But
I know. I know.
this was kind of the same thing. Didn't Andre Iguodala have a problem with this a couple of years ago during the finals?
Kevon Looney did.
Oh yeah, Kevon Looney. But he gutted it out and played.
Yeah.
I would tell, excuse me, I would tell Andrew Wiggins, get yourself a flat jacket. I know NBA players are not fond of needles. I am sorry that you're in discomfort. You got to play tomorrow, and you got to play the same way you did yesterday. Sorry, I have no, like I hear you, but Andrew Wiggins got to play. He's got to play tomorrow.
He absolutely does, and he will. Like Wiggins is a
No, I know he's a tough guy.
He's an Iron Man.
Yeah. So with that injury, I'm not too worried. You just wonder if he's going to be as aggressive as he was, prior to the injury. But I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't doubt that it could play into his. I don't doubt that it can play into his physicality though in this game.
Yeah. That's definitely what you worry about. So when it's all said and done, Steven, what do you think tomorrow? Are we? Is the series going to be prolonged? Are we going to have a See You Sunday Part 3? And I shout out to the people that have reached out to me, being like, "Hey, remember when D Papa made a thing on Haberman Middlecoff?" I appreciate that for people that have reached out. What do you think? Are we going to have a repeat of the 2016 Western Conference Finals, or is the Warriors season ending tomorrow?
I am going to roll with the corgi. Family corgi, huge thing. I think the Warriors can do it. I told you, man, I'm not going to doubt. Like I'm not going to doubt them. I'm not going to fall into that. Like I can't doubt them until I see which team is on the court. After last night, I mean, of course, we're in the prediction business. So if I'm supposed to give a prediction, do I feel good about the Warriors coming out of the series? No, I don't feel great about it. I don't. As a matter of fact, I'm a little nervous for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you want to watch the game together, let me know because I'm probably going out on Friday anyway. So we'll talk after the pod.
All right.
But I'm a little nervous. And also the establishment that we're going to, I don't know if you should go there because this is a big game and, they like their glasses unbroken.
Those days are over, Steven. Although tomorrow may be a different story.
You may see a chair thrown through a window. You might see.
I mean, God, if those damn Laker fans are, God, if it was any other team, I'd be okay with whatever happened tomorrow. I can't live with this. I just can't.
Do you ever watch The Office?
Of course.
You ever seen that episode where Roy finds out that Pam cheated on him with Jim?
Yep.
You remember that when they were at the bar at the end and his brother just lost his job and then Roy and his brother were just throwing shit at the bar and then just trashing it.
Yes.
So that's how I picture you and me after Game 6 and we go to a bar. We're just randomly throwing bottles at the glass. No, we're not going to do that. We're not.
Well,
we're friendly people.
No, if you remember, Steven, the second time I did that little I was doing like an ESPN 30 for 30 parody where it's like, what if I told you that the Warriors came back from a 3-1 deficit?
Right.
And the part that I had you voice was, what if I told you that some people just couldn't handle the pressure? It's just me screaming, and you go, Derek, will you stop? We're at Applebee's right now.
I do remember that one. Yeah, that was a good one. No, I look, man, I feel good about it, but this season has been just so tumultuous. I want it to keep going. I want it to continue, but it's just crazy. It's crazy how much we've gone through in the first 2 rounds of a series. I can't remember it being like this for the first 2 rounds. I remember this is how spoiled we are, dude. This is how spoiled we are.
Yeah.
We have not been through a first 2 rounds of a series like this, where it's just each game going Game 7. At least normally they go through Game 5, 5 games in the first round, maybe 6 in the second. It's never like this through the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I know. It's been a grind, and that makes me wonder about if they can actually pull this off. And I'm looking at the TV right now, and the Denver Nuggets are kicking the crap out of the Phoenix Suns, and we all were scared of Kevin Durant joining the Phoenix Suns, and their season may end tonight, and it'll be God. So it's been 5 years removed since Kevin Durant has left the Golden State Warriors and has not reached a conference final, and that will be the talking points tomorrow. But I don't know if the Warriors do advance against the Lakers. I got to be honest. I don't see them beating either the Suns or the Nuggets. So we'll talk about that if it even gets to that point. I do feel they could do this. Am I confident? No. Am I nervous as all hell? Absolutely. But I hope they do it. And I got to feel it. It just feels like it. Like there's going to be a little bit of magic, not like Laker magic, Magic Johnson magic, but just some old school Warrior magic that propels them past this series. Can't explain it. I think it's just a little bit of the Lakers not killing them when they have the chance.
Yeah, and then it's the fact that it's on the road in crypto.com, man, that it just makes me think that game one win was huge for the Lakers at Chase Center. That was just a massive gut punch for the Warriors, just losing game one instantly. Like that takes away all home court advantage right there. It really does.
But I thought game 4 was more of a gut punch just because the Warriors had chances to win that game and they just blew it.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if tomorrow is the ultimate gut punch, and we're talking about a off season where things may change very drastically for the Warriors. But we shall see. We'll see if we're doing a See You Sunday. So here's the schedule for us as far as the show and everything for the Ernies out there. And Ernies, yes, if you want to join us wherever we go tomorrow, you're more than welcome. But we won't tell you where we're going.
You have to guess.
Yeah, go to every Bay Area bar and try to find us. No, we love you guys, and one day we hopefully can meet up and do something. What was I gonna say? What was I leading up to?
You were doing the schedule for our pod.
Oh yeah. If the Warriors do win tomorrow, we will be on here on Saturday and we will review Game 6 and we'll get you all hyped up for Game 7. And then Sunday we will do a Game 7 aftermath show. So just kind of like we did with the Kings and Warriors series, we'll do that for Lakers Warriors. If the Warriors do lose tomorrow, we will do a very depressing episode this weekend sometime. So be ready for that. Before we get to the NFL schedule, the celebrities that were in attendance last night at the game. So we talked about Tom Izzo, and I think Draymond Green played for him, or played hard for him, I should say. He did play for him, obviously, at Michigan State. But I like that he was in attendance. You saw Dave Chappelle rocking his, his little cut-off sleeves and showing off the guns. And then, for whatever reason, all right, you got Matthew McConaughey in the crowd. Now, why was Matthew McConaughey there?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
random.
He doesn't live in California. He's not an LA guy. He lives in Austin, Texas. I saw him a couple times when I was going to UT. He just be around being a weirdo. But I do like his style. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of his work. Like I didn't hate Interstellar. Murph, it's the power of love, Murph.
You hated Interstellar?
Did not like Interstellar. I thought it was dumb. It's the power of love that keeps us together. You loved Interstellar?
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Sorry.
Amazing cinematography.
Sorry. You know, the whole title of the show is just your opinion, man. All I felt is judgment from you with my corgis and my McConaughey takes.
Well, it's not my fault that some of your opinion sucks.
It was just my opinion, man.
Yeah, but it sucks.
Regardless, I liked the interaction. Did you see the interaction with Matthew McConaughey and Draymond Green?
Yeah.
Hey, Draymond, Matthew McConaughey, it's my son.
Yeah. He was waiting for Draymond. I couldn't help but think of I was formulating a tweet and I wrote one. I spent like 5 minutes on it and then I put it in my drafts and I said, you know what, I'm not going to send this because I might be the only one who understands like the way that I was saying it in my head. I don't know if other people would read it that way, but I can't help but think of Matthew McConaughey. It sucks because after that run he had thinking about it, that year that he had really, what was it, back in like 2013 when he had like Dallas Buyers Club, followed by that 5 minute hit in Wolf of Wall Street where he like almost took over a 3 hour movie.
Oh yeah,
Hell of a, hell
that's
of,
what the Warriors need tomorrow is a little.
mm-hmm, a little something. Mm-hmm,
Pew.
mm-hmm. Tootsky.
Yeah.
Um, that's actually going to be us tomorrow. I'm going to need one martini, and then I'm another, and then we're going to need two more until we pass the fuck out. We're gonna, but no, it's not how it's going to be tomorrow. I need to pay attention to the game. But I just
Also, martinis are super expensive.
and we're not going to trust me. The place we're going to go, we do not want a martini from there.
Fair enough.
Or at least for where I'm going to go. I'm sending out the invite. But
yeah, haven't
when
accepted yet. Given your judgment of me.
When he does these, what are they? Buick commercials?
I believe Cadillac.
McConaughey.
Ernie's. Thank you. So Ernie's are telling us that McConaughey's friends with the Salesforce owner. That makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that does make sense. Lincoln. He does them for Lincoln.
Lincoln, yes.
So
he was a Lincoln lawyer.
Yeah. And Mud. Every time he does something, I just can't help but get those Lincoln commercials out of my head. And it's just like, basketball, life. It's like a 3-point shot. Sometimes you miss. If you miss, you got to rebound. And then sometimes you miss again. Maybe you should take a 2-pointer for the short term, and then get back behind that 3-point line, take another shot, and then maybe get a steal in life, and then make it. And that's what life's all about. That's why life is like basketball. You bounce from one end to the other in life. I don't know. Something like that. So I was writing out that tweet and then I deleted it.
that actually wouldn't have been bad. And great, pretty good impression by you there.
Thank you.
That's exactly how it would sound. But also, I kind of just equated a little more simplistic to Days of Confused, where he's like, "It's the thing I like about basketball players, man. I get older and they stay the same age. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Oh man. Oh God.
Chappelle has become like a fixture at Warriors games. He's always there. I met Chappelle at it was one of the more just bittersweet moments of my life is walking around Oracle Arena after the Warriors lost Game 7 to the Cavaliers in the 2016 finals. And then I bump into Dave Chappelle and I'm like, oh man, God, this is my guy. I gotta get a picture with him. I'm like, hey Dave, do you mind if we get a picture together? And he goes, yeah, no problem. And I tried to do a selfie because I didn't want to bother him for too long. And I was like, ah, shit, my phone's not working. I'm getting frustrated. He goes, that's okay. We'll have someone take the picture. It's all good. And he has someone take the picture for me. He goes, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, my team just lost. And he goes, man, you Warriors fans, Jesus, team's good. Try having Key and Peele steal your fucking show. Then he walked away.
That's an amazing story. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's so good.
He would use that line later in stand up. I didn't think Key and Peele stole his show, but whatever.
Yeah, well, Key and Peele's a little different. I always thought that was kind of overrated. Like, I was good, but I thought touting it as one of the greatest sketch shows of all time, I thought was a little much.
Which Chappelle show or Key and Peele?
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele it's more quotable in some of the sketches, but Chappelle was more profound and groundbreaking in its own way.
Yeah, it was different.
I mean, if we're being completely honest, Comedy Central tried to replace Dave Chappelle with a ton of shows. They did Demetri Martin, they did Carlos Mencia, they landed on Key and Peele.
Yeah, yeah, and I like those guys. And sometimes Keegan-Michael Key can be a little much. He's just so energetic. So energetic. It's just like God.
And I will say Jordan Peele, Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele, great director. I wish he'd go back to being goofy. He's kind of full of himself a little bit now, being a little auteur.
Yeah, well, guys change, guys evolve. Yeah. Thinking of Matthew McConaughey's IMDb. I'm sorry, I'm going back to it. But dude, that stretch that he had from 2013 and 2014, he could do no wrong.
Well, yeah, he was well, he we won for Dallas Buyers Club. He was on True Detective. I think they were on the same time, and he was in that brief cameo in Wolf of Wall Street. So
and
he was having a renaissance,
and
a
Interstellar too,
reconnaissance.
and Interstellar.
I forgot he was in
Oh
Eastbound and Down as the Yankee Scout.
yeah, and then the movie Sing. You ever seen Sing?
No,
Sing's a good one.
I've not seen so.
It's adorable.
He was
Just
good. He was good in White Boy Rick. I saw that a couple years ago.
oh, and then Between Two Ferns, the movie. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
He was involved in one of my favorite bloopers of all time.
yeah. One of my favorites is Galvaniakis saying, "When you and Woody Harrelson talk, do you ever think like, wow, there's a hacky sack not being hackied right now?"
Yeah, is there a sack not being hacked? What was the marijuana budget on that TV show?
He has a good sense of humor about himself too. All
Yeah.
right, Steven. Warriors hopefully win tomorrow. You know what? We haven't talked about it all. Shaq even brought it up. Um, wouldn't it be sweet to reverse the 3-1 collapse? Obviously, the Warriors had a 3-1 lead on LeBron. LeBron has a 3-1 lead on them. Reverse it. That would be
Of
the
course.
ultimate cherry on top to be like, fuck you, you son of a bitch.
And as opposed to Mother's Day, or as opposed to Father's Day, would
Yep.
be on Mother's Day.
And
It's all there.
to even throw another cherry on top, one of the biggest moments in playoff history for the Warriors against the Lakers, Sleepy Floyd on shout out Sleepy Brown, by the way. Forgotten singer in our time. Sleepy Floyd. Happened on Mother's Day. I mean, it'd be fitting to do this whole damn thing on Mother's Day.
Damn straight.
All right. Let's get to what everybody's waiting for. NFL schedule talk, baby. Steven, don't act like you didn't text me this morning being like Jets and Bills. Can't wait, baby.
No, I can't wait until Aaron Rodgers gets questions about 9/11, why he doesn't think it's real.
I forgot about that. You totally reminded me of Deshaun Kaiser saying, yeah, Rodgers asked me, do I believe in 9/11? So let's hope that he doesn't bring that up to Jets fans because that's a kind of a sore subject, I would say.
Yeah, it's just ironic that he's in New York and he's the type of question everything guy. Like, I don't know if you want to bring that type of energy there on September 11th, which is just the most tragic day in American history.
Let's
So
just keep it football related that day.
I'm
Obviously,
sure.
honor
I'm sure it
those that
will.
lost their lives, but don't ask Aaron Rodgers' opinions on that.
Please don't. And then he'll probably say, "I'm just saying." Read
Holy
up.
shit! Sorry, I'm just looking at the halftime score. Nuggets are up 81-51.
Jesus.
Come on, Kevin
I'm
Durant. Good lord.
sorry. I'm just watching what's now one of the greatest baseball players of all time, Casey Schmidt. Just watching him tear it up.
Is this the only thing the Giants fans have to look forward to now? Schmidt happens, baby.
He's 7 for 11 right now. In his first couple of games.
Damn,
So
that's what we need from Klay Thompson tomorrow.
Or is he? No, he's not. Never mind. That's a lie. Continue. He hasn't had 11 at bats in 2 games.
He went yard again tonight.
Yes, he did.
Nice. Good for Schmidt. All about Schmidt. About Schmidt.
All about Schmidt.
All right. NFL schedule release came out today. A lot of leaks. A lot of people knowing what was going to happen before it went down. And usually we get like phony parody accounts. I remember last year I was angry about that and I called out whoever made some phony baloney account that I bought into. This year I avoided it all. But people got the scoop on a lot of schedule shit. So let's just go through it right now, Steven. NFL schedule. Raiders schedule. Not great. But they do get 5 primetime games or nationally televised games, whatever it is. But they open the season up against the Denver Broncos at Denver, and it'll be, Sean Payton making his debut with the Denver Broncos. Then they have to go to Buffalo. So back-to-back road games. That's not great. Then they're home Sunday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers, week 3. Then they're on the road again against the LA Chargers, but as you and I know, when they go to LA, it's kind of a home game for them.
They are now Lightning McQueen, by the way.
What's up?
The Chargers are now Lightning McQueen.
Why is that?
Because of the Titans. The Titans schedule release thing, their video right now, I think the Falcons changed their Twitter handle.
Avatar?
Right? Yeah, they're the Red Stallions. Like that's what it was. It was just a bunch of
God.
non-football people guessing the names. And when they had the Chargers, I think they have them in like week 3 or week 2. The people were just looking at the logo. They have to guess the team based on the logo. They looked at it and they go, Lightning McQueen. So they're the Lightning McQueens now.
They sound like my friends that don't watch sports and just make up names for the teams.
Yeah.
Then the Raiders, week 5, have to play the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football, ESPN. Then they're home against the New England Patriots, so back-to-back home games. Then they're on the road to Chicago. They're on the road against the very interesting Detroit Lions. We'll get to that in a little bit here. That game's on Monday Night Football, the day before Halloween. Then the Raiders play the New York Giants. Back-to-back weeks, they play New York teams. They're home against New York Jets, and that game will be on Sunday Night Football. Then week 11, they go to Miami. Week 12, they're home against the Chiefs. Week 13, they finally get their bye. Yikes, that is a late bye. Week 14, they're home against the Minnesota Vikings. Week 15, they're home against the LA Chargers on Amazon Prime. Christmas Day, we'll talk about that too. Kansas City Chiefs, that'll be the morning game on Christmas. Then they're at the Colts. And then week 18, they finish it off at home against the Denver Broncos. So your initial thoughts, Steven, on the Raiders' 2023 schedule?
I don't care until August.
Okay.
My initial thoughts
are you
on
are you gonna go all Marshawn Lynch on this whole topic? Just like I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Kind of. I'm not joking when I say I don't like the schedule release. I don't like going over the schedules.
Okay, but you did this shit last year. Just entertain me.
I know I will. Look, man, the Christmas Day game sucks. I'll say that. But normally the second games of the season between the Raiders and the Chiefs, they tend to be good ones for some reason. I don't know why. The first ones always tend to be the Chiefs blow them out. Then the second one, it's a little different. It becomes closer, and it's like, oh wow, that's when they fool you. That's when they fool you. The Raiders, oh my god, they might get over the hump here. You know what I mean? Like at that point in the season, look, that stretch they have from weeks 10 through 12 before the bye, that's really tough. And even before that with the Giants, actually 9 through 12, hell, 8 through 12, even if you want to count the Lions, I don't know. But that's tough, those 5 weeks before the bye. But by the time they get to week 16, I fully expect them to be maybe like a 7-9 team, maybe 8-8, where it's like they're right on the edge of a potential wild card, or they're heading into week 16. So they wouldn't have played 16 games by then. I mean, 8-7 or something like that, or 7-8, something close to it. It's like they got to win that game, and then they end up losing. Just a Christmas Day, early start. Not looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised by the amount of nationally televised games the Raiders were given this year. 5.
Yeah.
I thought they were more interesting last year. I get it with, being in Vegas, but I wouldn't put the Raiders on national TV as much as they were this season. Maybe it's just the Raiders, and the Raiders have a good brand nationally. They don't in Oakland, which is, when they do, but the whole Bay Area thing, people know it by now. But yeah, I'm surprised with the amount of nationally televised games. So I'm hoping that the Raiders win some of those games. It's not like a whole Denver Bronco thing a year ago, like, oh, the Raiders again? Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders and Steelers is a chance to kind of have them prop up one of their once great rivalries. It seems like they're doing that also with the Niners and Cowboys this year. The Raiders and Packers, I guess Devontae Adams playing his old team.
Yeah.
The Rich Bisaccia revenge game. I don't from special teams. I don't know. I don't know where the intrigue is there. That's a weird one. Raiders at Lions is also an interesting one to me. Like, where's that? That's out of nowhere. They don't have any history.
Yeah, they don't. But the Lions are getting some love this year. Like, real quick, the opener. Lions at Chiefs to open the season. So every year, the Super Bowl champion from the previous year gets to host the first game of the season. And the Chiefs had some options. I understand they didn't want the Super Bowl, Super Bowl rematch right away because the Eagles are going to play the Chiefs again. But I texted you this, Steven. The Dolphins are going to play the Chiefs in Frankfurt, Germany. I think like week 9 or something. you picked the Lions to play the Chiefs. I understand there's a lot of hype with the Lions, and I guess they want to get them out of the way just in case that they're not good. It's like get them on week 1 and we'll see if they're actually good. But you want to put the Dolphins and Chiefs in Germany? Why not that be the opener? Dolphins have some hype around them. Have Tyreek Hill come back to Arrowhead, see all of his teammates get their rings. You want to do that in Frankfurt, Germany? I understand they want to have good games go to Germany and overseas, but come on, that was there for the taking right there.
For who?
For
What do you think
NFL
the-
fans.
Who cares about NFL fans? They don't care about NFL fans in America. We're fawning over the schedule release in May. They're going to have us no matter what.
That is true. I mean, like every year.
I was very like when you sent that text, I was really proud of my rebuttal, man. I was super proud of that. I felt smart for once in my life. Where I was like, yeah, because they maybe want to, grow their international product as opposed to it domestically, considering they just have a stranglehold on every single American that watches sports.
No,
that's why.
No, that is true. I totally get it.
They want to show some offense. Like, what was the last game in Germany last year? What was it? Buccaneers, wasn't it?
Seahawks and Bucks. That game was terrible.
Yeah, so they want something.
Terrible. Just, nah.
They want something in Germany that's going to give them some explosive fireworks. 2 high-powered offenses going at it.
Well, the Germany fans, I remember, really getting into it.
Yeah,
they were chanting at the end of that game.
They want to go global, man. They do. So it's a strategic business move.
They're definitely going to be. The Jacksonville Jaguars are playing 2 games back to back in London. Might as well call them the London Silly Nannies.
The London Silly Nannies. And you're gonna go all the way to Subaru for a touchdown.
Let's go through the Niners schedule real quick.
Okay.
For the so 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. For the third time in the last 5 seasons, I know how to do math. For the third time in the last 5 seasons, the 49ers have to open the season with back-to-back games on the road and then have to wait until week 3 to play their first home game. So they open the season at Pittsburgh. Interesting matchup. Then they go to LA against the Rams. And the Rams, we don't know how good they're going to be this season with, kind of them having to hit some salary cap. So we'll see how that good matchup. See how good that matchup is.
I think they're going to stink.
Okay, that's fair. So the Niners make their Levi's debut Thursday night against the New York Giants on Amazon Prime. And I'm getting the sense that that's what they want to do with the Levi's fans. They don't want them in the hot sun beaten down. What was the rest of that song? That's my John Dickinson song. Burning my feet just walking around. I can't dance. It's a great song. Anyway, 49ers, they don't want the Levi's crowd being smoked, because it gets hot in those early September games. So they're waiting for it to get cooler. That's what I think is happening there. So week 3, they're home against the Giants. Then week 4, they're home against the Arizona Cardinals. Yep, they're home against the Arizona Cardinals. Then week 5, they're on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys, and you won't see Zeke Elliott lining up at center this year. Then in week 6, they're at Cleveland. Week 7, they're at the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. Week 8, they are home against the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's going to be a good game.
That is a good game. They get a bye week 9, and then they go to Jacksonville. Week 11, they're home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then week 12, Thanksgiving. So here's the thing. Niners are playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So looks like Greg's going to have Thanksgiving and Christmas by himself.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, seriously. So week 12, this is a tough stretch here. So week 12, they're going to play on Thanksgiving Day. That's a late game, 5:20 in the afternoon, against the Seattle Seahawks. I think it's the first time actually since the Turkey on the 50 that the Seahawks and Niners have played on Thanksgiving Day. Remember that, Richard Sherman?
Correct. Yep.
Week 13, they have the NFC Championship rematch with the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 14. So in the span of 3 weeks, they'll play the Seattle Seahawks twice. So they play the Seahawks at home, week 14. Then week 15, if you scroll down, Steven,
Sorry.
they're at the Arizona Cardinals. Week 16, they are playing the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football on Christmas Day. Then week 17, just like a year ago, they play the Washington Commanders, only this time they'll be in Washington. And then in week 18, they finish up their season against the Los Angeles Rams. And my first thoughts are it's a fairly good schedule for the Niners. I think they'll be a good team again. I'm not going to go into in depth of what's wins or losses, but for a team to play on both Thanksgiving and Christmas, damn, I've never seen that before. But then again, actually, you know what? That's a lie because I want to say in the Raiders, I can't remember, but the NFL has taken over on Christmas Day. Like, the Raiders and the Niners will be playing on Christmas Day, and the Warriors will be playing on Christmas Day as well. It's turned into a sports bonanza. Like the NBA is going to suffer now because the NFL wants to have a stranglehold over every sport. So interesting. Interesting that the Niners were selected for both Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. That's what stands out to me.
Okay, so I got a question. So, which teams do you think is going to be starting for quarterback for the 49ers? Which teams against? Do you see Purdy starting against the Steelers week 1 and all the way till the end, till that last game against the Rams? Do you see it being Trey Lance starting with the Steelers and maybe his last game is against the Cowboys in week 5 and then, by the time October rolls around, that's when Brock Purdy takes over? What do you think?
Here's what I think with that whole quarterback situation. It sounds like Kyle believes that Brock Purdy will be ready to go by training camp. He spoke last night at a Dwight Clark function for the 49ers organization, and I think he said that he expects Brock to be ready by training camp. So I'm under the assumption that the Niners are going to roll with 3 quarterbacks this season because of what happened a year ago. They don't want to take any chances again. It's going to be Brock, Trey, and Sam Darnold. Now, what's the pecking order going to be? Brock's going to start. I don't know what's going to happen after that. It's going to be a training camp, decision after that. And I'm hearing all these things with the Minnesota Vikings as far as their quarterback plans for the future. I do not think Kirk Cousins will be back after this season. I think they're going to ride it out with him one more season, and that's the end. It sounds like they really wanted to upgrade. Like they were trying really hard to get that first overall pick and get Bryce Young. They really wanted a quarterback this year, and they just didn't take one because they didn't feel comfortable with one. But I've heard everything from them wanting Caleb Williams in next year's draft, if they're that bad, or wanting Trey Lance. So that's the team I look out for. But as far as a week 1 starter, I think Brock Purdy's going to be your guy.
I think so too. I think it's trending in that direction. There hasn't really been any setback. I think he's going to be their guy as well. And I think that might be the smart decision. He proved right away that he's ready. Or, he could have some sort of sophomore slump. And what if this injury, we can't forget that it did happen to his throwing shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Like this happened to his throwing arm. Things can change, man. Maybe that touch is lost. Maybe he has, I think he's still going to have a little bit of that swagger that he had, just like, because he knows his teammates get excited by that, and I think he knows it fires his team up. But I do think there's a little uncertainty with that. No matter how much the whole Trey Lance thing comes up, it doesn't feel like he's going to be the starter. I want him to be the starter somewhere. I like Trey Lance a lot, just as a human being. He seems like a great dude, and it's been a tough start for him. But Brock Purdy kind of took over and had proven like, hey, I might be better within this system. And so anyone who's out there asking why can't Trey Lance do what Brock Purdy did, well, I'd say because Brock Purdy was just more prepared, just more calm, poised. So I think that's what Kyle Shanahan wants, is a quarterback who's poised. Like, for all of Jimmy Garoppolo's flaws, he always seemed to be relatively calm when he was in the huddle.
Yeah.
Kind of understanding what to do. Maybe it didn't seem like that with happy feet and, especially when pressure would get to him. But I think that's the type of quarterback Brock Purdy is, and that's what he wants. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's a week 1 starter.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. As far as the darling of the offseason, the New York Jets, they will be on national TV 6 times. Week 1 against the Buffalo Bills, Week 4 home against the Kansas City Chiefs, Week 9 against the LA Chargers, Week 10 against the Raiders on Sunday Night Football, and they have 2 Amazon Prime games. Week 12 against the Dolphins, that'll be your Black Friday game. Black Friday, Steven. How about that? Huh? Yeah. In Week 17 against the Cleveland Browns. I wonder how many times the Jets will be flexed in or out of, those nationally televised games. Like, there's a lot of hoopla with obviously, the offseason stuff, and rightfully so. Like, there's intrigue. Like, initially when we heard that the Denver Broncos were going to be on national TV 6 times last year, we're like, okay, that makes sense. Russell Wilson goes to the Broncos. You want to see that. But then it could turn terrible, as we saw. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Jets this season, but I can make the argument that that's a lot of nationally televised games for the Raiders and the Jets, and I'm not sure they'll get all of those games right off the bat.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. And we're going to have a lot of double headers on Monday Night Football, it looks like. Week 2 and Week 3 will be double headers. So that's fun, but that means more Steve Levy, apparently. Or I guess Steve Levy's not going to do it anymore. I guess they're going with somebody else.
Who's
Can't
that?
remember who. I don't know. I want to say I read that Steve Levy's not going to be doing Monday Night Football fill-ins anymore.
Monday Night Football play-by-play.
It may be our guy, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, he's going to score. Or Derek Thomas, he's going to score for the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow, McDonough, you really overreacted there.
Was that Derek Thomas?
Sorry, not Derek. Derek Johnson.
Derek Johnson. Jesus, Derek.
I was dating myself.
Rest
in peace, Derek Thomas.
R.I.P. I can't find it.
Yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get there with Steve Levy and everything. I guess Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit are doing Amazon Prime again, though I haven't heard anything differently.
Great.
You know what? That was something we were talking about today on the show. Was we went through all the Monday night games, we went through the Sunday night games, and we're like, oh, this one's good, this one's good. All right, what Thursday night games are we skipping? And we went through it, and honestly, the schedule is not bad for Thursday night football. But then you get to week 5, and it's Bears at Commanders. And last year, that was one of the worst games on Thursday night, if you remember. That was the night that everybody was tweeting, I can't believe we have to watch this crap.
Oh, that's right. I made fun of you for watching that.
Yeah, but yeah, because the World Series was rained out that night. So everybody was watching Commanders and Bears. And it was a terrible game. And that's where I lost my shit and I called everybody on Twitter. I was just like, you don't have to watch this. You're choosing to watch this. You can read a book. You can go watch whatever you want streaming-wise. But you love football so goddamn much that you're going to watch about it and bitch about it. And we do this every year. So I'm telling everybody now, look at the schedule and get prepared that every game is not going to be great. But you're going to watch it because you fucking love football. So shut up.
Oh, man. That's too good. All right.
All right. And that's how I'll leave things. Anything on your so-called mind, Steven?
On my so-called mind, Trump's back. Did you see the CNN town hall thing?
I was not ready for that conversation.
It's just he's back, man. Like the whole thing is just, oh my god. I'm not gonna
worry about that yet, and I'm
not
gonna ignore.
I'm not gonna get into some political conversation, but seeing him back on the news, just calling some newscaster, "You're a horrible person. You've done all my questions wrong. Why are you answering? Why?" And he's just continuing to whatever.
It's kind of to me like an old stand-up comedian just doing like his old bits again. It's like, I've heard this before, man.
What, it's like Andrew Dice Clay coming back and being Andrew Dice Clay?
Yeah, the same thing. You're just like, hey, little Miss Tuffet sat in a muffet. What's in the bowl? Hey. Just gets old after a while. I'm over it. And I'm not going to worry about that until I have to. So
yeah, Trump back. That's what's on my mind.
Hey, but you know what's better that's back?
What?
The D, baby.
Huh?
Tenacious D came out with a new song today.
Oh, that's right. The video game one.
The video game one. Kind of a quick little song, but hopefully that means an album's coming out soon too.
Yeah, they're all quick little songs that they come out with nowadays. It's all just like 2 minute stuff. That's how streaming is. Every song now is like 2 minutes long. What happened to the good old days where you'd get
I
like a
want my
prog rock?
10-minute ballads.
I need prog rock. All right. I need who's a prog rock band? I need Yes. I need these guys who just go on for
That's the
7 or 8
band.
minutes.
Yes.
Listen to the keyboard solo on Roundabout.
It'll blow. It'll blow the. What does he say?
It'll blow the classical music out your butt.
I was going to ask you about this. Have you watched Bubkiss yet?
No, the Pete Davidson show.
I'm actually intrigued because I do love shows where people play themselves and they, making fun of themselves fashion and they get cameos, very Curb Your Enthusiasm like. But this is incredible. The fact that he got Joe Pesci to play his grandpa, and Joe Pesci doesn't do anything anymore. Like he'll do The Irishman and come back for that. But besides that, Joe Pesci doesn't act.
Yeah.
Actually, he's put out some albums. You ever listen to Joe Pesci's rap album?
No.
Oh, do yourself a favor. Ernie's and anybody else that's listening to this, Joe Pesci could rap.
Oh boy.
And he could sing.
Interesting. I can believe that. I didn't believe the rap thing. But yeah, that's with the amount of people that are in that show, it turns out that Davidson like called all of them. Just called them. There wasn't any like formal like, hey, you need to I think they come like read for the part, but like he'd call them and just say, hey, I need you. So to anyone who doesn't like Pete Davidson for whatever reason, fine. But whoever his posse of friends is, you wish you had that posse of friends because he could just call Joe Pesci or Edie Falco, Adam Sandler, all these guys. Like, say what you want about Pete Davidson, but I think he's very well liked in the industry.
No, he is, and I give him respect for that. So I do kind of go back and forth on him, but I am going to check out the show. I just need to figure out if Peacock is still free.
I think he's very refreshing. He also sometimes it doesn't make much sense because he says he hates the public spotlight, yet puts himself into the public spotlight. But whenever he talks,
that's the part that I'm like, eh.
He's very self-deprecating though, and he's always very real about things. And it's kind of cool to see. Who else does he have in this show? He has Joe Pesci. He has Brad Garrett. He has Ray Romano.
So
I guess like
Ray and the Ray and who was the brother on Everybody Loves Raymond? Robert.
Yeah, both of them.
I miss Ray. Oh,
don't stop that, Raymond. Bobby Cannavale, Shane Gillis, who's like one of my favorite comedians right now. Maybe probably my favorite actually. Shane Gillis is just like the everyman. He's hilarious. You ever watch his stuff?
I have not actually.
Oh, you should. He's got his specials for free on YouTube. Highly recommended. He's so good.
I thought you were saying Ian McShay for a second. I was like, he's funny.
No, Shane Gillis. He's the one who got canceled from SNL.
For what?
He was that writer that
got
hired and then immediately fired because they found something on some podcast.
Yeah.
A while back.
Yeah.
That he has been forgiven for.
Yeah.
So, that was when cancel culture was when it was at its peak. I actually hate even using that term cancel culture because I think that just totally is another name and kind of like almost like an excuse of some sort.
You can't cancel me.
Exactly. So I don't know. Mark Maron just did a whole bit about it too.
Yeah. Love Mark Maron.
But yeah, he's got everyone in Bupkis, man. A lot of people, and those are just the people in multiple episodes.
No, I will check it out. I will.
Steve Buscemi,
or Buscemi, even he doesn't.
Al Gore,
yeah.
Method Man, Charlie Day, John Mulaney, Charlemagne the God.
All right.
Sebastian Stan. Damn.
No, I'll check it out only if Peacock is still free. Pretty sure when it came out, it was free.
I'll give you my account.
All right, that's fine. Even though I am using Paramount Plus for free.
Eli Manning. How about that?
All right, I'll check it out, Steven. And by the way, anybody that's watching Barry, love that show. And I won't give it away, but anybody that knows the show Barry, they made a huge swing of a decision in this last season, and I'm not sure I'm loving it. So anybody that knows what I'm talking about, I think you agree with me or you're not in agreement with me, but Bill Hader's making some choices. Before we get out of here real quick, just to talk about the NBA tonight, 76ers blew a golden opportunity to go to their first Eastern Conference Finals since 2001. They blew it, even with Jason Tatum having a terrible game, but then he showed up in the fourth quarter, so there will be a Game 7 on, what is it, Sunday?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule.
Let me see real quick. Pretty sure it's Sunday.
I'm looking.
I'm looking too. Sorry for the dead air, everybody.
It is Sunday.
So we potentially could have 3 Game 7s, although it's not looking good right now. To update you, it looks like the Nuggets are going to end the Phoenix Suns season. They are up 96-69, or 68 actually. Wow. Yeah, the Nuggets are for real.
It's a beatdown. I got the Stars and Kraken on instead.
You got the what on?
The Stars and Kraken. Stars and Kraken. Well, every time I watch hockey, I start talking like hockey players, you know.
Have you watched that Oilers Knights series?
I haven't watched the Oilers Knights series yet because the Golden Knights are a bunch of hosers.
I'm with you. I'm not a Knights guy. I would like to see Connor McDavid make it to the Stanley Cup.
No. I've watched that. I think I watched like Game 1 of that series, but I haven't managed to catch the other ones. And Connor McDavid's otherworldly, dude. He is just like, you don't have to be a hockey fan to appreciate what he does. You could just tell the way that he sees the ice, the way that he just his shot making, his shot making ability, his ability to pass, everything that he does. And when they're on the power play, it is something to behold because they have, like, statistically one of the best power plays of all time. Yeah. So it's pretty remarkable to watch. Highly recommended if anyone out there wants to. Check it out, you hosers.
The only bad thing about that series, it's going on simultaneously with the Warriors and Lakers every night. So I have not watched that series, but
yeah,
I want to because I do enjoy hockey playoffs. But yeah.
Oh, how are you now?
Oh, hello. Hello, Margie. Yeah, this will be bad for the Suns, man. A year ago, they were blown out at home in a Game 7 against the Dallas Mavericks, and it's happening back-to-back seasons. Not in a Game 7, but a Game 6 that they needed to win. And people will point the finger at Kevin Durant now, I can tell you that. And we'll see if he wants a trade in the offseason. I doubt it, but not good. Not good.
Yeah, you trade away all your players, you're not going to get a very good team, bud.
All right. Steven's doing his Canadian accent for too long. Steven, Warriors, Ernie's, see you Sunday?
I think it's going to be a see you Sunday.
What do you, Ernie 1, Ernie 2, what are we saying? Game 7?
I don't know about Ernie 1. Is Ernie 1 still there? I think Ernie 1's gone. So now it's really just Ernie 1. And that's the Ernie 2. It turned into Ernie 1.
All right. I'm getting tired of this accent. See you Sunday. There we go, Ernie 2. See you Sunday, guys. Let's keep this going. Let's go, Warriors. There we go.
See you Sunday. Ernie 1's there. Pitter patter. Let's get at her, boys.
And on that note, hopefully we're talking about a Warriors win. Steven, say what you always say, my friend.
Yeah, it's just our opinion, bud.